I'm 10 years old. Today I will share you about can cockroach live without their heads. Cockroach is some kind of brown animals and it's not scary, it's nothing, but I'm scared of it. I don't know why, but it's a normal cockroach. Cockroach, those sneaky, creepy crawlers, have been scuttling around Earth for over 300 million years. That's a lot. They outlived dinosaurs, survived Ice Age, dodged meteors, and lied in the face of the strongest bug spray. They have been survived in the Ice Age. It's really cold and it's really hard to find food because of the cold weather. Dodged meteors, like the astronaut that falls down and make all the dinosaurs disappear because it was really small, so it could just make a hole under the earth and it could still survive though. But they lied at the strongest bug spray. Even the strongest bug spray cannot defeat that. So they have lived in Earth for over 300 million years. It's not that one cockroach has 300 million years. Like this cockroach died, and there's still a lot more. Each time one died, there's more. But wait, it's even crazier. These survival experts are so tough that they can live without their heads. Like if we live without the head, that would be nonsense because if we cut the head out, our brain cannot sense any signal to our body part and the part that go into the brain and kind of that. So we will die. So without the head, we won't live. But those cockroaches without the hand, they can still survive. Sound impressive, right? But is it true? And it's called if it's true, so it all comes down to how the cockroach was built, how it was made. Yes, unlike us, humans who need their brains, blood pressures, and fancy organs to stay alive, cockroach play a whole different set of room. The brain doesn't really do much thing, and it does need a heartbeat, and it doesn't really need fancy organs because it still have infection, but maybe not really much. And fancy organ just to stay alive. Cockroach play a different thing. It doesn't need as much thing with us. First, let's talk about blood. In human blood is pumped under high pressure by our heart. If we don't have a heart, we cannot live because all the blood pressure was in the heart. If our heart stops beating, all the pressure will go out and we will be faint. All the blood go out. It will stop going through our blood vessels, and then what? And then I don't know. But if our heart stop beating, maybe if we're surprised, like maybe we are really walk peacefully, then something surprise us. Maybe we are surprised, so if we could have us hurt. Our heart will stop beating only for like a moment, not really long, like 1 second, and then it will beat again. I don't know why. Those signals stop the heart, so the heart can function properly, and vital organs shut down quickly. If the heart stops beating, those vital organs will shut down quickly, and we cannot live. But cockroaches have an open circulatory system where their blood was called hemolymph. That's a name for a heart. Our heart doesn't need a name. It was called heart. Sludged around their body at a very low pressures. So the cockroach have the blood, and the blood was called hemolymph, and it doesn't need a really big pressure like us. It only need a small pressure. And so even if they lose their head, there's a little bit bleeding. They're still bleeding, but a really little. In fact, the part that was cut off were usually clot and seal itself very quickly, like kind of plugging a slow leaky pipe. Like you wrap around the pipe so it won't leak anymore. Secondly, we breathe in our nose or mouth. If we can breathe our nose, like we have a sneeze, we can breathe in our mouth. Kind of like a plucking slow, leaky pipe. So secondly, if we breathe with our nose and mouth, and our brain tells us when to inhale or exhale. So if we don't have a brain, we don't really know how to exhale and inhale. But cockroach, no. They breathe through tiny holes in their body. They have holes, I don't really know, and they have wings so it can fly. So it's pretty scary. I don't know why I'm scared of cockroach and spider. Not spider because some spiders have the poison in it, so I'm pretty scared. And also big and have 8 legs and scary. But cockroach, it doesn't really. If it bites, it's normal because if a cockroach bites, it could have infection or something like that. But it's kind of normal. But it's stinky. Not really stinky. We can't smell it, but it can fly. Bird can fly, but I'm not scared of a bird. I don't know, but I'm scared of cockroach. Secondly, we breathe through our nose and mouth, so our brain will tell us when to exhale, then breathe in and breathe out. Exhale. But cockroach, no. They breathe through their holes, so even if they have cut off their head and they don't have a nose, they can still breathe because they don't breathe in their nose. Maybe a cockroach doesn't have a nose, and they breathe with the holes. And in the body, cause spiracles located on each segment, like in the body, like the tummy. Air travels straight into the tissue through a network of tubes called trachea. No brain needed, so they can keep breathing just fine without their head. Now, how about eating? If people can eat, they will survive. So if cockroach can eat, can it survive? But cockroach doesn't need it much, especially if they are cold-blooded. Meaning they don't burn too much energy because they don't do it too much. They just go find food and fly. Because if they eat one meal just for one day, they could have no food for 1 week. If we have food for 1 day, we will spare for 2 days. We cannot not eat for 2 days. But if we eat a lot in that 1 day, maybe if you could not eat for 1 day or kind of thing. But so a cockroach can live without its head, but you think that it will live like this forever? It won't, because having no head means that it cannot drink water properly. It doesn't have anything to drink water. Its hole, if it goes through, I don't know what's happened, but maybe it can't go through its hole. So in maybe 1 to 2 weeks, it will die because of hydration. Hydration is when you don't get enough water and kind of that. You don't get enough water, like you drink no water, or infection. Like the part that had been cut off your hand may have some virus that get into that part, but it will get infection. So it will last so long for 1 to 2 weeks. Or if you put in a fake head for it, maybe it can still survive or something like that. So a cockroach can live with a head, but we can't because it has a lot of difference from how we breathe, how the blood, and how they eat. If we don't eat, we die. If they don't eat, they still survive, but only if they still eat and they can survive for a week. So that was the end of today. Can cockroach live without a head? It can, but not for much time. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. See you again. Bye bye.